Well, good morning or afternoon, depending on when you're watching the video. This is the part 2 that's been asked for, and we're in the shed today. Much more comfortable place for me to be. Have the questions here with me, have the mic set up, I've got the lighting on, so we'll get down to business. So we'll start with why I'm doing this video, and it's pretty simple. So last video I did was about mental health and information and how it affects people. So this time, sat on the tractor, we're going to do questions that have been sent in by people who watched the last video about mental health. So, got 6 questions. So we'll start with the first one, and some of them I will say are going to be, I'm not going to tell the names because they didn't want their names shared, which is perfectly fine. But some of them have got names on them, so we'll read the names if they want to be read, and if they don't, we won't. So if there's any rattling on the roof, it must be because we've got birds sat on the roof, I don't know. But hopefully it's nothing too audible, but let's get started. So first we have one sent in by an anonymous viewer. I'm not coping very well with my mental health right now. What are some coping methods? Okay, so at the minute, times are different. It's a very strange sort of time. We're all in lockdown, there's a coronavirus crisis, and it's a global thing, and a lot of people ain't going to be coping well with the mental health. So I'm going to say some coping methods that I've found personally, and then some that are more general. So let's start first with we'll start first with one that I found. So this is my environment here. So I find, for me, a good coping method for me would be, I like to work on my tractor, I like to work on my chainsaws, I like to make things. You know, like I'm making these dogs out of wood. I like to make things, I like to be creative. I've got all sorts of tools and equipment in this shed. I've got a load of wood back here, I've got the tractor, I've got chainsaws, I've got logs to carve, I've got loads of things to keep me occupied and take my mind off it. But that's personal, for me. If you haven't got that sort of thing, you find yourself at a loose end. One thing I'd like to say is, a general method is find something that interests you and do it. So it might be video games, you might be interested in this Fortnite game or Farming Simulator or Call of Duty or something. Find something that interests you and then do that for a while, and it should take your mind off things. I'm not saying it's definitely going to work, but it might go a long way into getting your head clear and getting the right mindset in. So that's what I'd think. But then of course, if you don't have access to, I'm incredibly lucky with access to the shed. If you don't have access to a gaming system or something, find something different. Maybe read a book, maybe watch the TV. Find something that you see as interesting, you personally, and just follow it. Follow it up. If that's just watching your favourite TV show, or watching something on YouTube, or maybe reading your favourite book. Just do something to try and get your mind off it. And it's not saying the problem's going to go away like that. That's not at all what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, when you do something to temporarily get your mind off it, it can go a long ways in, in combating that either anxiety, depression, or any other mental health problem. It can go a long way in combating it, and that's what I've found very important. And one more thing, which is probably I see as the most important thing: text someone, just talk to somebody. That can be huge. I'm going to go across this in another question, but just talking about it to somebody, just talking to your mum, your dad, your brother, your sister. You can even talk to your dog, or your cat, or your guinea pig, or your rabbit, or your ferret, or whatever pet you've got. Just talk to a friend, a neighbour, if you feel comfortable talking to somebody. Even talk to your girlfriend, or boyfriend, or best friend. Just talk to someone, get it out there, put it out in the open, and just get it off your chest. Because most people keep it locked up, and from experience, that's the worst thing to do. Just talk it out. But there you go. Hopefully, if you're watching this video, hopefully that's helped you. If it hasn't, feel free to contact me on Instagram. This question did come from Instagram, so you already know where to find me if you still need more advice. Moving on then. Number 2. This was sent in by another anonymous viewer. How do I stop feeling empty and worthless all the time? Right. So this appears to me as somebody suffering with depression, but I can't judge that. I'm not an expert. So let's talk. So you say you feel empty and worthless all the time. Let's start with the empty part. So with the empty part, this can be another way, this can be tied into the first question in a way, because when you feel empty, you've got nothing to fill you up, like to fill you with joy, to fill you with happiness. So find something you like doing, like playing football for a start. If you like playing football, have a game of football, go for a kickabout, or play FIFA. That's an idea. But you've got to find something to fill you with happiness. Like, if you're feeling empty mentally, like you feel like you've got nothing, well, it's not entirely true. If you've got heart, if you feel passionately about something, you've got heart and soul. Which therefore means, I think it just started raining, sorry for the audio, which therefore means you've got something inside of you. And when you've got something inside of you, the best thing to do is to let that thing out. Be creative, be yourself, be whatever you want to be. You can make it happen if you've got it in here. In your heart, if you've got something, then you're not empty. And you'll never be empty as long as you've got something in your heart. And the second part of this question, worthless. You can't be worthless if you've got friends. If there's people that care about you, you can't be worthless, because otherwise they won't want anything to do with you. And that's got to be an important thing. You've got to see that as like, you know, I'm not alone. Because you've got to have friends. You don't have to have friends. You can be lonely all your life. You can be alone. There's nothing wrong with that. You can roll by yourself, no matter. But having friends is a very important thing, because it gives you something to talk to, someone you feel comfortable around, and you can talk to if you don't want to talk to your family. So, if you've got friends, you can't be worthless, because otherwise your friends won't want to be around you. And I know that sometimes you might not want to share what's going on with your friends, or there might be some friends that you're not as close to as others. But the main important thing is to remember that they're there. And as long as they're there, you don't need to feel worthless, because otherwise they won't be there, and they are there for you. And you gotta, you just text them. If you're ever feeling empty or worthless, just text a friend, talk to a mate, tell them how you feel, talk to someone you trust, and you know very well. Tell them how you feel, tell them what you feel like, and see if they can help you with it. Hopefully that's helped you. Again, if it hasn't, feel free to get in touch with me, Snapchat, Instagram, I don't mind, anything. You can even leave a comment and I'll answer it. Number 3. How do people get mental health issues? This is sent in by Kyle Radford. Now, Kyle, so people don't, it's not contagious, it's not like a contagious thing. You can't just walk up to someone that has it and then catch it like a cold. That's not how it works. The way it works is, we'll start off with, I'm in no means an expert here, so I'm going off what I know. So we'll start with depression. So depression can be brought on by a lot of things. It could be going through a bad breakup, or it could be, losing a loved one, losing a pet, and you could just feel really, really, really down, and feeling like there's no way out, and that's depression. Now the best thing to do with that is to just talk to somebody. The best thing you can do with any mental health issue is talk. Talking is everything when you're suffering with mental health. Trust me, I know from experience. But depression is something you get from a bad experience. Something like that. That was a bird on my roof, sorry. Depression you get from a bad experience. Anxiety, and I'll tell you where I got my anxiety from, is when you get really nervous and afraid of a very tough situation or a very stressful situation. And I got mine from going through exams, like I said in the previous video. my exams for me, when we started doing them in the exam hall, there was loads of tables, you couldn't talk to anyone, you couldn't look at anyone, you could only look at your paper on the table and in front of you. That really freaked me out. I was nervous, I was shaking, I just didn't want to be in there. And you can get anxiety from a lot of different stressful situations, a lot of bad situations. But talking again will help, and talking to someone you trust, or using the new government initiative run by Prince William and Princess Catherine called Shout, using that's going to help a lot. Just talking to somebody. And then there's a lot of other mental health issues that I'm not as confident talking about because I've never really experienced any other than anxiety. But if you want to find out more information, Kyle, there's the internet, you can look it up. But if you feel like you've got a mental health issue, the best thing to do is to talk to somebody, get a second opinion, and then see what they say. Because a lot of people could have a mental health issue. I'm not saying you will, this isn't anything like that. I'm saying a lot of people might have it, feel like, oh, I'm just having an off day, and then it turns out they've got anxiety or depression or something like that. Or suicidal thoughts. That's a really big thing at the minute. And that can be huge. Talking is going to help there. But you've got to be really open with people you trust. But yeah, there you go. So that's the answer to your question. So to get it, it can be brought on by a combination of things. One thing individually, a bad time at home, a bad time at school, bad time at work, stressful situations, losing a pet or a loved one. It can be brought on by a lot of things. But the best thing to do is to just talk. And if you want to know more information about mental health, use the internet, use the resources to your access, and then just try and find something out, see what you think. But that's the most I can tell you from experience. Now this is a fairly personal question to me. It's not personal as in like a bad way. But this was sent in by an anonymous viewer. How are you doing now? I personally am coping very well. I've had a few down spells in the coronavirus crisis, but it's just what happens. And the thing that can help you most is getting back up when you've been knocked down. So thank you very much for that question. I'm doing well now. I feel like I'm coping a lot better than I would be if I didn't have the help that I've had. Question number 5. What's one thing you've learned from your own experience which could be used as advice to help others? This was sent in by my gorgeous girlfriend. So thank you, darling. The main thing I've learned from my experience, and this is going to sound really repetitive, but I want to get this point across very much because it's very important. Talking. New government issue Shout. Couth is it's the same sort of thing as Shout, but it can be used for anything like problems at school or anything like that. They've actually issued us all with they did an information session at my school, at my secondary school, about it, and showed us all how to access it and everything, and that can help a lot of people. So just talking. One thing I've learned from experience, the more you try and hide it, the worse it gets and the harder it'll be to get back up. When you talk about things, the problem is immediately reduced. A problem shared is a problem halved. That's the most important thing. That's probably the important thing I'd say I've learned from my experience to help others. So thank you for that question, dear. And there you go. Hope that's answered your question. So we'll now move on to the final question. Now you may have noticed I've got a notepad rather than using my smartphone because I record on my smartphone. So this is the mic, got the phone stand there, sat on the tractor, that's why I'm using a notepad. But let's keep going. This is the final question. I did 6 questions. This is the final question and it's sent in by an anonymous viewer. So hopefully I can answer your question. What's the best thing someone can do to help someone who is suffering with a mental health issue? Right, okay. So I'm going to lead on to a slogan which has been made by Calm, the Campaign Against Living Miserably, and it's also run by the channel Dave on the television. Be the mate you'd want. Be the mate you'd want, and that literally, in plain terms, means if you'd like, it's the same sort of concept as treat others how you want to be treated. That's kind of the same. It's on those lines, and I'll explain that now. So basically, if you were suffering with a mental health issue like depression, you wanted to talk to somebody, you'd want to talk to a mate more often than not. And if they were like, oh no, I don't want to talk to you, that would be really hard, because you'd feel like, well, what do I do now? Who do I turn to? So it's important to be the sort of person where if you feel like one of your friends is in trouble or is upset or needs some help, you know, there's a bloody pigeon on my roof. I'm sorry about the bloody audit, but if you've got like a friend that needs to be, that feels like they don't feel right, you know, like if they feel empty or upset or depressed or anxious, you know, just talk to them. Sometimes a text can mean everything. Just one text, maybe once maybe 3 times a week. You just text someone 3 days a week, or just say hello, or say how are you. That can mean everything to someone who's feeling alone, feels like they need someone, feeling they can't turn to anyone. That's going to be everything. It's going to be huge. And what I mean by that is, when I don't want to make this video about me, this is about everyone else, but when I was suffering with anxiety, I had a text from a mate one day when I was having a really low day. No, I didn't tell anyone I was having a low day. I was just really, really, really bad, and I felt like, what am I going to do? I don't know what to do. And I got a text from a mate, and they just said, how are you, man? How are you feeling? How are you doing? And that was everything to me. You know, I felt like, I'm not alone. Wow, this is amazing. And I told him, and I was like, okay, I want help. And it was huge, because I felt like I've got someone to turn to. I'm not alone, and that's a big thing. You know, people need to feel like that. So be the mate you'd want, and if you want to help somebody, talk to them. Send them a message. Say hello. Say how you doing. Say, do you want any help? And talk about something. And that can be a big help with virtually anyone suffering with mental health. And if you can't help them, point them in the direction of maybe the government initiative, maybe Shout, maybe Kooth, or if you're at school, talk to the senior leadership team. But you've got to make sure before you do something like that, before you talk like a senior leadership team or the support team within a school, you've got to check with this mate first. If it's something like depression and having suicidal thoughts, you need to go straight to talk to this. If it's in school, you need to go straight and talk to the support team. If it's something like anxiety or something that they're not so confident talking about, you need to talk to them first and say, look, we can talk to these people, I'll go with you, and they can help you. Because they might not want to talk to them, they might want to keep it to themselves, but you've got to be prepared to ask them what they would want and what they like, because you can't just go and talk to them and then like, oh, so he's got this and they need help, and then all of a sudden they come in like, I didn't want to do that, I wanted to keep this myself, I wanted to do this my way. And then it ruins a friendship, because they might blame you. So just check with them first. If it's like depression and they're having suicidal thoughts and they want to end everything, you need to go straight away. You need to tell somebody straight away and get them help, because you would feel terrible if they told you and you couldn't do anything. I know that some people have had that experience, and it's a horrible feeling. But I think there's a bird on my roof, because it's making a really loud noise. But the important thing is to be helpful, be there, be someone they can turn to, and be someone who can help them and point them in the direction that they can get help. So hopefully that's answered your question. If it hasn't, feel free to get in contact with me, get in touch, leave a comment, find some way to contact me, Instagram, Snapchat, leave a comment on the video, something like that. And that's the 6 questions. Hopefully I've answered them. Hopefully all the people that have asked the questions have got the answers they were looking for. If they haven't, get in contact with me, let me know. Say what you'd like to know. But hopefully that's answered all the questions. Hopefully the new surroundings not reduce the quality of the video. I mean, I thought I want to film somewhere where I'm going to be comfortable doing the video about mental health, so I wanted to be in a comfortable surrounding. My bedroom is comfortable, but there's a lot of people in my house at the minute, and I wanted to do this like a private video. So this is what it is. This is the shed. The audio is a bit bad because it's fairly soundproof. I've got a lot of stuff in here, so it's fairly proofable. But I've had a few times today where I do apologise, but I get birds land on the roof. I've got a tin roof. I get birds landing up there, and then they start shouting and making noise, and it's never a good thing. I mean, I like to hear the birds in the morning, but when I'm trying to film, it's sort of annoying. But hopefully it's not reduced the quality of the video. Thank you to all the people that have sent the questions in. Hopefully I've answered them. Hopefully it's helped you or helped somebody else. Thank you to all the people who left a comment on the last video. Just want to make something clear about the last video. I got a lot of comments saying, how are you? Never realised. Are you okay now? Hope everything will be okay. Everything gets better. I can't stress enough that I'm doing okay now. I made the last video for one reason only, to raise awareness, because I know that a lot of people don't like to talk about it and feel like they don't want to talk about it. So I made that video to raise awareness and also to share my experiences and hopefully help somebody else. But that's the reason. I'm okay now. I'm doing great. I've got a lovely family around me. I've got a beautiful girlfriend. I've got a lot of good friends that I have a lot to owe, and that's where I've got to today. So hopefully I've answered all those questions. Got the notepad here. But, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hopefully that's answered all your questions. Sorry, it's a bit old-fashioned. I'm not a modern YouTuber, but hopefully I've helped you. Hopefully I've helped somebody else. Feel free to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss another video. If you want to see more videos like this where I answer questions about mental health, or talking about mental health to try and offer my experiences as advice, leave a comment, let me know. But I think maybe if people want me to do another video, I might do another one like this next week, or next week we might go on to another product review. I've ordered some products, some bricklaying products to review, so we might do that next week. Or if you'd like to see another video like this or another video about mental health, let me know, and we'll film another one of those instead of a product review. But see how we go. Leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, get in contact if you want to ask me anything personally. That's pretty much it. So thank you very, very much for watching. Thank you to all the people that sent me questions. Thank you for all the people that watch me every week or every time I upload. Thank you to all the people that left a comment on the last video. And thank you for putting up with me this video. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye for now.